So this is a lot of new work in the studio. I started out more as a traditionally representational painter, beginning to work from life drawing and life painting from the model, and slowly have sort of taken apart the figure and am now recombining it with elements of thicker painting, abstraction, really kind of geometric patterning, so pockets of figuration, elements of other still life. And there's always been narrative, so the sort of narrative occurs between the combination of these different elements, the figures in the background, the light, the space, the color, everything sort of being thrown in together. I work pretty quickly, so usually a painting every 2 weeks, large scales, 5 by 6 feet, but the process varies. I work really, really quickly, wet into wet, so you can see the brushwork stays pretty true to how I'm working, so you can see the process in the canvas. I find that gives a dynamic quality to the surface of the paintings, which I want when combined with more sort of flat representational areas. I like the interplay of the two. So I work from photographs of people that I pose and light and dress and then photograph and then recombine with historical images. Things from World War II or the Ballet Russe, orgies. So this is an autopsy. I've been painting a lot of figures being taken apart so that the viewer is almost like an actor in these disemboweling scenes where you're trying to figure out what's on the inside of these figures, what they're made of, what we're made of. So these are two separate figures on autopsy tables, and these two figures are reaching into them to see what's on the inside. So this is my palette. I work on wood. I learned this way when I studied in art school at the Slade in London. So it's a kind of traditional way of working, but it provides a neutral tone when you look at the paint. And I use lead white, which is very toxic but transparent. So a lot of the older artists use that for skin tone. And then I use a cool and a warm of each primary, a brown, earth brown, and a black. It's a very almost limited palette, I think, in today's standards. So I started life drawing, life painting when I was 15, so I've always worked from the figure and from the nude model. I don't work from life anymore. I work from photographs and a combination of memory and historical photographs. So there's still elements that look like they're done from life painting, mixed in with these really flat graphic elements which kind of fight against that. But I've always been interested in narrative and in narrative that surrounds people and their bodies, and specifically the spaces in between worlds where these sort of people who are part creatures, part men, part women exist. So all of the figures are in between worlds. They're in between being animals and being people and being different genders and different sexualities, and they're almost in a way fighting these pockets of representation with this sort of abstraction that's starting to take over the paintings. This is called inspection, and the figures are on these sort of operating tables, and this nurse is opening them up to figure out what's inside of them and then sewing them back. But part of the figures are incomplete, so they're kind of in this process of being formed or being taken apart. And then there's always an overseer figure, like there would be in opera. There's usually someone center stage who's addressing the audience, singing to the audience. And so that's this woman here who's looking out at the viewer and kind of guarding, keeping the scene. So this is a marriage scene, and this is the woman and the man, and they're holding hands, and they're in a church or some kind of theatrical place. And this is the person who's officiating. But a lot of the work is about, revolves around women and their bodies, but it has to do with power narratives. And a lot of the power narrative has to do with sexuality and usually violence. So in this kind of sweet painting, the figure is kind of disintegrating. The black is coming in, cutting open the figure. This person is faceless. because really I just care about her. And her body has been almost violently covered by this paint. So pockets of representation, her breast, pubic area come through, part of her face. But she's kind of turning into this carnivalesque, grotesque figure. So the sort of the beauty in the paintings of the women is never simple. It's always complicated, usually with violence.